How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what's up, people? How's everyone doing? It's your boy TraderPrad. We are back in the house for the final episode of this week. Hopefully you had a great day today. Market was monstrous. Oh boy. I did warn you yesterday, right? I said I'm not a fortune teller, but I warn you, if the market takes out 510, 509 area, we might see 500. And what did we see at 4 o'clock? We saw 500, right? So lots of bearish sentiment. Market did indeed end up going down 2%. Now market's down, what, 7.5% from all-time highs. Not sure if we actually bounced in the after hours or not. Looks like we did not. Oh, that's NVIDIA. Let me just quickly go look at the market. A little bit of a bounce in the after hours, but we did go touch 500 exactly. Wow, 500.05 was today's low, and today's close was 527. So imagine if you tuned into my stream yesterday and you actually heeded my words, which is watch for a gap up and another sell-off right into the back-to-back days high, and the market gave you, mamma mia, exactly the big picture that I was looking for. Down 3% and tons of shorts across the board. You know, NVIDIA reported earnings, did not matter. NVIDIA got slammed. SMCI got sold off. Palantir capitulated right off the open. I guess you could say the market capitulated right off the open, but even that capitulation did not matter as more selling just kind of kicked into the market as you know, possibly a bunch of hedge funds together decided to take profits, and as one of them started to take profits, a bunch of other started to pile in on the downside also. So this is a big move so far. 7.5% from all-time highs, very close to triggering that key metric that puts the market into a bear territory, right? Down 10% from all-time highs, puts the market into bearish territories. You have stocks at their 200-day moving average on the mega cap. You know, Apple, maybe not Apple, Nvidia, Google, I think might be a little bit below the 200-day moving average. So you got a lot of stocks going back to their 200-day moving averages, and lots of discounts across the board, lots of profit taking, I guess you could say, as people are worried about the tariff tensions, and all kinds of possible worries in the future that we might run into. So the great bull market that I thought we might had in 2025, thanks to Trump, might actually end up being the opposite of it. Nvidia, people such as Stanley Druckenmiller is calling the top on Nvidia, so that means a lot more downside on Nvidia. So if that's the case, you know, all we can do is wait patiently to see where these stocks go and how can we take advantage on the day trades, right? So I'm gonna go through my trades on the day, as I usually do. Go through my trades on the day, and then we'll talk about my watch list that I have prepared. If you have any specific names that you want me to take a quick look at, and if it meets my requirements to be on my watch list, then I'll throw it on my watch list also. Put your tickers in the chat, let me know what you're looking at. All right, so let's go to the full screen and start with taking a look at my trades on the day. So I came into work a little late. The weather was snowing. I think there was like an accident. I'll be honest, I was passed out on the public transit, so I don't know. But I think there was an accident on my transit to my subway. And then so it took really long to get to work. I think I got in around 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. and right around 10 a.m. the market actually had an insane sell-off and kind of capitulated. So got in on the long off the capitulation, got to enjoy the scalp to the VWAP on the market. Later on, able to capture another quick scalp from that dip and a failed low break over here. So got back in long, risking that low, able to scalp that little move up there. Much later in the day, this is called the S&B hitchhiker scalp, basically taking the breakdown short, risking this high and getting a nice little flush off that move. But boy oh boy, did we get a bigger flush that I wasn't partaking in, because I sold my position 30 minutes too quick before the sell-off actually happened. So did not partake in the sell-off that I wanted to. Once again, calls don't make you money, executions do. So, you know, you gotta execute better if you have a big trade thesis like that. And I should have been able to flip short over here. I guess I could blame that on my boss. You know, my manager was fairly bullish on the market reversal. So because of that, I just kind of didn't even bother looking for the short. So had I been looking for the short, maybe on this reject over here, or if you draw a trend line, maybe on the break of that trend line, you can join the downside on the market without having to risk too much. A nice cheap shot to join the downside, even on this pullback, as the stock as the market kind of tries to pull back, it doesn't really have any follow through, and you know, lots of opportunities to join the downside today if you were looking for it. As I said, I got in late to work, so I wasn't really able to trade any small cap names off the open, which is what I want to do for the most part, but managed to find a nice little easy long on the breakout. Got out on about, what was that, like 70 cents per share winner on the move over there. Got stopped out on the last few shares, and then flipped short on the S&B Capital setup. So flip short, able to capture a nice move, exactly, I guess you could say 3:1 risk to reward units. But boy oh boy, it could have been much bigger had I just stuck to the trade a little bit more. It actually round tripped completely, gave you a beautiful long to play with, and then gave you a monster short to write home with also. So I'm happy with how I traded it. I'm not going to be too upset, but you know, not sticking to the exit rules on the short, but I did stick to the exit rules on the long. So I guess that's like kind of half good, half not good. Sometimes good, sometimes maybe shit. All right. Nvidia short on the lower day, so got short on Nvidia on NVDS. I know it looks like I'm long, but this is because this is a 3 times leverage ETF, maybe 2 times leverage ETF, don't quote me. It's a leverage ETF for Nvidia, so basically taking the lower day break on Nvidia short by taking the higher day break long on NVDS and capturing a nice little move to the upside. But obviously this one got sold off a lot more too, and missing out on that move. Quick little scalp long on the QQQ, same as TQQ, just a quick little scalp long on the QQQ. A little bit smaller size over here, but just to have a piece because you know, it's always fun to put double the exposure than you already plan to do it. I don't know why I didn't just put more exposure here or put more exposure directly on TQQs, but I kind of spread out my exposure, some on Qs and some on TQQs for that trade over there. I actually did that all day today. I kept flip-flopping on the exposures given to stocks and being given to their 3-time leverage names. So in this case, this is actually shorting Nvidia directly on the lower day break and capturing the move down, but I also had the 3 times leverage ETF long, the inverse, so kind of having the both sides of the trade, just kind of spreading my basket. It's not really spreading, it's the exact same trade. Okay, TSLS, trying to look for a short. Didn't really have any follow through, at least the one that I wanted, so I got out for a break-even trade. BCG stock had a nice breakout of the $4. I didn't get filled. I was pretty pissed off, so I watched it go into this area, and then I was about to pay for shorts. The shorts were $130 for 100 shares. I said no thank you. I'm not going to be paying for these shorts at all. That is ridiculously expensive. But if that's the case, if the shorts are so expensive on this name, potentially not a lot of people are actually short. And the ones that are, they might be careful with their shorts. So if the stock starts pushing, they might start covering quicker because they need to make up for those expensive shorts if they are actually willing to pay for it, right? So considering all that, I said I'll give the stock to see how it trades on a one more flush. It flushes, that flush it holds, and it pops back up. I'm going, okay, you know, maybe there's a quick long attempt over here, risking this low. Give it a C size risk. I put a C size risk on it. I get stopped out. Move on. But I think it would have been an insane run to the north side had it worked. But the shorts were so expensive on that. SQQ, this is basically market shorts. I'm losing all the trades over here. No money was made on this trade. So QQQ short, also SQQ long. So this is the 3 times leverage ETF on the Qs. Same as the TQQs or same as the QQQ, which I also did trade today. Where's my QQQ? Did I not trade QQQ today? I swear to God I traded QQQ today. I'm pretty sure I did trade QQQ. I trade so many tickers, sometimes you forget. So nothing burger trade over here. I think I made the right call. Instead of trying to short the market directly at this time of day, I decided to go on the inverse ETF and kind of play with it over here. And honestly, I think that was a better call to make. I was able to manage my risk 10 times better by just deciding to do this. A little bit of a loss, but managed it really well. IonQ, took the short, cut the size in half, and then I got stopped out. Later on, I took the entry again. I added on the little breakdown over here. Didn't have too much follow through. Almost got stopped out. It was like a 5-6 pennies away from getting stopped out. And the stock pulls back. After it pulls back, I'm seeing buyers coming right back in above 27. I'm saying, yeah, no thanks. Let me just jump out of this trade, take a quick little loss on it, and move on. So that's that on IonQ. But later on, I guess you could say the whole market kind of got slammed back to the downside. So IonQ joining back to the downside along with it. Tesla, quick long loss. Short scalp, actually not even scalp, I break even exit on that short. So loser, biggest loser on the day, I think Tesla. Second biggest loser on the day, IonQ. So nice damage on these two names, which cut my profits by like 50%. Wah, wah. what can I do? These two losses basically cut my profits by 50%. You win some, you lose some. But easily could have avoided some of these trades. All right, so those were my trades on the day. The ones that I think that was like the easy money trade from my book of trades was probably the small cap ESGL, which is obviously, I'm going to write that up. The Nvidia short from 125 was very easy. The market short below 510 was very easy. So got to write up some of these easy money trades, even though I didn't really participate in them the way I wanted to. You got to write them up, make notes of them, study the patterns, and then next time you see them, you want to slam them. Okay, just having the big picture is not good enough. Just calling it out is not good enough. You got to execute on your ideas too. I'm not just saying this to myself. Hopefully me saying this out loud to myself, to I don't know, one other viewer that's watching me, you kind of get an idea, at least that you know, this is the kind of conversation maybe you need to have with yourself if you're having the same issues in your trading, right? Be honest, put it in your notes, and study the patterns, and do the homework. Do the homework. All right. Lance calls it rookie hours. Got to do the rookie hours so you can make the big bank later on, ladies and gentlemen. The big bank. I'm exhausted of the rookie hours right now. I'll be honest. Not enough sleep because of the rookie hours for me currently. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. Let's talk about all the stocks that I want to talk about tomorrow. Barkett does not have any names for us to look at. He just wants me to take a look at the overall market and share my thoughts on the market. I mean, the market is sold off big time. Okay, this is a big sell-off on the market. That's, like I said, 7.5% to the downside. One ATR on the market is now $9. Let's say, I mean, we made what, like how many ATR move did we go today? $20 move today from top to low, right? It's a $19-20 move from top to low. The stock market literally had like 1.5 ATR move in like 30 minutes, right? Like 1.25 ATR move in 2 hours. Sorry. So someone is selling. We don't know who. The question is, are they done selling? Right? Are they done selling? And is there someone willing to buy? Is there someone willing to buy? And is the seller done selling? We're not going to be able to know these answers until market really opens tomorrow, right? You're gonna see a little bit of a fluctuation in the overnight markets. Not a lot of volume going on, but at 9:30, at 9 o'clock, when hedge fund managers actually sit in their seats, at 9:30, when actual brokerage and gateways start functioning and the markets open, ding ding ding, the bell starts ringing, that's when liquidity and volume starts to hit the tape. So you gotta wait for that to understand really what we're dealing with. So if market stays weak below 500 tomorrow, it's going to pretty much scream doomsday. People are going to be you know, worried about possible bear market territories going into possible even recession territories on the market. These are just terms that get thrown around. But it does mean something, right? So if we do trigger down 10% on the bear market, the last time we did that August recession lasted for like not too long, right? Not too long. That was almost down 20%. So from the all-time high, previous all-time high, to that August low was 15%, and that was about 25 days in all. So after 25 days, the market bounced. So maybe we go down 15-20% from the all-time high, which would take it, 15% would take it into 460s, 450s, and 20% would be taking it back into 430s, and so on. So it's got a little bit of a drop to go down to recession markets yet. I think, you know, we're gonna, market's currently testing some of the weak hands. If you are a hedge fund and you bought stocks, let's say, I know I'm looking at the market, but if you're a hedge fund and you bought stocks somewhere in these ranges, maybe you're worried that you know, I gotta get stopped out and buy them at a cheaper price. That way at the end of the year or next year when the market starts going back higher, I have a way better price. Right, so maybe that's what people are thinking of doing. Profit taking, question mark. Market clearly struggled to take out the all-time high and failing to take out the all-time high, and the amount of selling that we're seeing right now, that triple top, it's insane. That's insane. I don't think you can find another candle like that, or at least a sequence of candles like that. That's a sequence right there, and that was a 10% drop for 3 days, and over 20 days it dropped about 11%. All right, that's a little bit of something there. That was a drop of 6 days of 10%, then it dropped about 16%, then it dropped about 30%. This is what, 2020, this is COVID. Okay, so about 30%, and that took about 27 days. Looks like recession doesn't last longer than 20 days. If it does happen, you have a, you know, a dark moment for 20 days. Okay, that one was 80 days. What was that? That was 2018. Maybe that was COVID. When was COVID? 2020. Okay, but from what I'm seeing, not much longer than 30 days, except for that one instance that we saw there. Ooh, this instance will probably ruin all of it. That one was 400 days, and this one is overall down 30% from all-time highs. 30% from all-time highs, and that took about 400 days or so. Okay, at the end of the day, all that matters is that juicy 500. There's actually a good tweet that was sent out from, I'm not sure who exactly, but the tweet was, they are praying, they are fingers crossed for a sell-off tomorrow off the open, off the pre-market, whatever, sell-off, and really going to the downside, smacking to the downside, and then bottoming out, absolutely bottoming out, and you get an absolute big time capitulation bottom on the market. I mean, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 6 straight red days? Wait, that's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's a green day. That's about a positive 0.24 day. So not a continuous, but a big red day today. 500 under over. I'm putting that as my inflection level tomorrow. And for the resistance area, you could kind of take a look at what today's VWAP is. I'm guessing 510. It's at 508. Really, I'll be surprised. I thought it would be around 510, but I guess the sell-off over here was really drastic to the point where it brought down the VWAP. The VWAP was around 510 until the second leg of the sell-off, where it really got kicked a little bit lower. Overall, 5.8 to 5.10. Looking for that area to reject on pop tomorrow. If we reject on pop tomorrow off of this area, I'm expecting a move back into 500 and then potentially a bounce off of 500. But let's say that does not happen. Look, this is the scenario. Pre-market, off the open, struggle, go back down, and then bounce. Right? So we kind of have a back and forth above 500. But if 500 breaks, doomsday. And that is in the scenario that I just talked about. But if 500 breaks in this scenario, where the market is actually, you know, either it's, God, where's my drawing tool? Either it's above, oh, I put in a bunch of anchored VWAPs, that's why. Either it's above here or it's down over here, but off the open, what it does is it goes to the downside rapidly, and then it just kind of V-shaped recovery, bottoms out exactly how it did today, exactly how it did also I think a couple days ago. This day over here, was it? Or maybe, not sure which day. I think it was one of these days where it did almost a very similar bottoming it out action where you got a monster long off of. So watch for that potential washout bottoms, and then a nice dip by long back into 500, back through 500. But currently, from what it looks like, we got a big seller, and the seller is not done selling. At least the way they're behaving, it does not look like they're done selling. Time for some earnings report, and for that, we're gonna pull up our good friend Benzinga. If you're interested in this awesome tool, Benzinga, go check out the link below in the description. You'll get 10% off by clicking on my link. Get 10% off using Benzinga. Come on, let's open up that big boy, close the chat, and type in SOUN. Take a look at the earnings report. Fourth quarter reporting 34.54 million compared to 33.69. Loss of 5 cents per share compared to loss of 10 cents per share. So beating so far. Revenue up 101% year over year. Ooh, Nvidia, maybe you should not have cut your position in SoundHound. Year over year basis, the company reported adjusted EBITDA of 16.8 million. SoundHound ended the quarter with 198 million in cash and equivalents. We had a breakthrough year, expanding our leadership position in voice and conversational AI through major customer wins, expanded partnership, groundbreaking generative AI innovations, and strategic acquisitions. As a move in the era of agentic AI, we are uniquely positioned to capitalize on the evolving category. Together, we are existing broad. I mean, agentic AI with SoundHound is actually scary if you think about it, because that means that they can always be listening, and they can always be modifying and changing what they're doing, surroundings around you. It's kind of scary. We'll see how it goes. Together with our existing broad portfolio of voice-enabled AI solutions, we can deliver greater commercial impact. SoundHound guidance raises full 2025 coming into 157 to 177, up from prior range 155 to 175. So a little bit of a bump, not that big of a bump in the range, but nice bump at the end of the day overall. And the stock was up 12.49% at the price of $10.39 at the time of the report. So let's actually dive into this bad boy. I think I can get rid of this one. I don't need that anymore. So let's dive into it. I'm guessing it went right back into, oh, not there. Actually, they said 10 something, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it back at 12. I didn't? Okay, so we did not see it back at 12. Why is this red? That's wrong, because Benzinga says 5 cents per share compared to 10 cents per share, and you're saying 6, unless I'm wrong. Did I read it wrong, chat? Adjusted loss of 5 cents per share, beating estimates of a loss of 10 cents per share. Estimate 10 cents per share, reported 69 negative. That looks wrong. Overall, you did get a pop. I think trading view is misinformation, fake news over here. So be careful. Hopefully, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong through Benzinga. Please take a look at that. Okay, SoundHound. I'm listening. There is more than one person listening. Thank you, Future Floors. Thank you, Barky. I'm just kind of, playing around. So SoundHound, I wouldn't be surprised if I do see a move into 1250 tomorrow to kind of get that. I'm gonna put gap close in quotes. It's not a real gap close. But it is a gap close at the end of the day, right? So we'll see if it gets to 1250 and kind of shows previous support turning into resistance. The report looks good. 101% growth is not bad at all. So I want to see the stock holding above 10. The even psychological numbers are going to play out. The stock has a $1.50 ATR, so maybe you get a $3 bottom to top move intraday. So looking for extra volume, looking for elevated ATR, 101%. What more can you ask for from a growth name? Clearly they're losing money, right? So their PE is not gonna exist. But do they have a forward PE on Finviz? They don't have a forward PE either. And if I remember correctly, this was holding really well until Nvidia reported that they cut their position in a bunch of companies. SoundHound was one of them, so they took a little bit of a beating because of that. So now, can the stock get back into the ranges where it had support because of Nvidia and use that as support again after the news that Nvidia is no longer holding them on their portfolio? That would be a pretty good recovery in stock value, if you ask me, for a stock on their own merit, on their own success, not because Nvidia had them, it's because they did it themselves. So very interesting level over here of 1250. I'm gonna put that as an inflection, I'm gonna put that as a resistance, and we'll be watching to see how the stock behaves very closely around that price. As for bias, at the moment I don't really have a bias. I think I might just wait for I will wait for pre-market to see how the stock's gonna react in the pre-market. At the moment, it is trying its best to hold above $10, and like I said, I want to see $10 turning into a support. So, and if the stock's ATR is $1.50, you could get a $3 move. That means $10 to $13. So let's see if that actually plays out exactly the way I'm thinking about the trade tomorrow. So dip into 10 and a nice move into 1250 or even 13. That would be awesome to play with. Okay, Dell Technologies reported today. I thought Dell already reported. Am I wrong? Okay, I guess I'm wrong. Dell reported already. Sorry, Dell reported today. I can get rid of some of these drawings that I don't need. Actually, let's just use this awesome delete all button and take a look at Dell's earnings report. Dell. Where's the report? That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, that was it. Okay, $2.68 compared to $2.53, 23.9 billion versus 24.56. So missing revenue, beating EPS, increase from same period last year of 22.32. So still growing, but missing estimates at the end of the day. Fourth quarter revenue up 22% year over year. Full year revenue up 29% year over year. Fourth quarter revenue up 1% year over year for client solutions. Full year revenue down 1% year over year for client solutions. So infrastructure, that's basically, I'm guessing, server racks, AI cooling racks and servers and all kinds of stuff. They actually had a new deal recently, I forget with who, to provide them with cooling technology and server rack technology for AIs, if I remember correctly. So Dell kind of going deep into those waters, and they're, I guess, leaving the monitors and those to Alienware, which is actually they own. Surprisingly, they don't talk enough about Alienware at all. Full year 2025 was a transformative year. We hit 95.6 billion in revenue. Okay, outlook is the only thing I care about from here on out. 101 to 105 compared to 103.17 in range. Adjusted 932 versus 923, so above guidance. And at the time of the report, stock was up $3.64. So slight growth, slight growth, not too much. Will be interesting, obviously, to see how Dell trades. I do like watching Dell on earnings day, so for sure on the watch list. But looking at the chart, doesn't look too interesting. The PE is fairly cheap, so that actually makes me a little bit more interested. Dell is also resisting right into the 200-day moving averages, the 200, 250, the 100, the 9, whatever moving averages. You can see how all moving averages are converging. I think that's the right word to use, around the $120 area. And you also have this little recent peak high, the February 19th high, at 122. So basically from 120 to 122, you have this zone on the stock that potentially finds a little bit of a barrier. So looking for a breakout long above 122 might be stupid depending on how the stock gets there, but looking for a move into 122 might be worth it. The stock did get an original, I'm guessing, let's zoom into the chart. Yeah, so original flush, recorrected itself, popped, tried to hold around around Wednesday's low, failed to do that, and then broke back down. So not looking good at the moment. Looks like we've bounced right off the 100, and we might have to just go test that $100 area tomorrow. Overall reaction to the earnings report was initially, you could say, mixed. Initially negative, then positive, then mixed a little bit, so kind of confusing. Earnings report over here or earnings reaction over here for Dell, so you might want to be careful looking for the long extremely, just because of the earnings report. But at the moment, I think it's a basic under over for me is the $100 area. Ooh, what is that? Oh, that's not what I thought was. Okay. I got a little excited for nothing. But from that low to this low, you got a little bit of a zone that I'm interested to see how the stock plays in. If it does dip there, if the stock gets below 100, then I'm not surprised if we make a move slowly over the next few days, next few weeks into $86, even though the report was positive. So potentially fake a breakdown over here, trap some shorts, trigger some stops, and then get back above 100. So the $100 area is going to be very, very key. Watching Dell tomorrow for sure watching Dell. Based on this reaction, how can I not watch Dell tomorrow? Next stock, RKLB. I tried to switch away from the screen so I don't get ruined by the surprise, but too late for that. Remove all the drawings. Stock clearly moved to the downside in the after hours, so let me just quickly draw some lines based on where I would be interested on this stock. So I guess we'll leave those two lines for now. We'll put this one over there, and clearly it dropped in the after hours right into the first line that we have, which is on that low. So dropping back down to that low. Where does this come from? Oh yeah, from that one. All right, okay. So I'm dropping at the end of the day. Stock was looking good with the whole sector looking strong, but I guess with the market weakness, forward P 429, 428. You guess round it up and say 429. Forward P ridiculously expensive. Short float 13%. Okay, let's go read the report. 132.39 versus 130. Much better than the other company that we saw yesterday. What was the company we saw yesterday that made $5,000 a quarter? Like, what are we talking about? $5,000 a quarter? Come on. Ooh, we got a bunch of people in the chat today. What's up, Praddy? What's up, Soze? Hi, Prad and all. I'm listening in, and also as I do some work. Thank you. I like to see that, putting in some hard work over there. I'm guessing you're talking about trading when you say that. I like the hair. I haven't seen you in a while. Yes, the hair has been growing wild. That's also because I'm tired of paying the barber $50 a month. These barbers are asking way too much. And also, it's cold, so I like the nice cold weather. The hair is protecting me from the extreme cold weather. Apparently, Bitcoin is dumping. Chat is going crazy that Bitcoin is going to the downside. Let's go take a look at cryptocurrencies. Why, Bitcoin, are you doing this? Ooh, big move to the downside. Michael Saylor, when are you in liquidation issues, buddy? Michael Saylor is eventually gonna have to answer a big question. The margin call, when the margin call starts calling, he's gonna have to either dilute his company or buy more. I mean, that sell-off that you're watching right now is a blip in the radar, okay? It's a blip in the radar. And we were already at 82K and it went down to 81, 80K. It's not, I mean, 85 to 80. Okay, that's a little something. 85 to 80 is like what, 3-4%? That's gas fees, if you guys know what I'm talking about in the crypto world. Okay, so it's not really a big scare. We'll see what happens in the overnight. Possible even bigger scare if we actually start getting below 72K or into 72K. The market is actually very frothy right now. Maybe it's time to go off stream and start trading some cryptocurrencies. Go short Bitcoin on the breakdown and wake up to Bitcoin at $60,000 tomorrow. Imagine that. Imagine that. See, we're already back above 82K. Cryptocurrencies are just a whole different breed. Let's just stick to what we're going to be planning for. Don't get me wrong, Bitcoin is on the radar, down the watch list, but I want to talk about earnings real quick. Total revenue up 121% and still going down. The company said it achieved a record of 16 Electron launches in 2024, up 60% year over year. Approximately 271 million in cash and equivalents. Ooh. Up from 162. Oh, okay. 224 was a record-setting year for Rocket Lab, with our highest annual revenue posted at a 382% increase from fourth quarter. Expects for first quarter revenue to be in the range of 117 million to 123 million, a little bit lower quarter over quarter versus estimates of 135 million. So this is possibly why the market dropped the position, because of the guidance not matching the estimates. Company anticipates an adjusted EBITDA loss of 33 million to 35 million in the first quarter. Also announces or made a series of announcements in a separate press release after the market closed on Thursday. Announced that new satellite called Flatellite, tailored to large constellations, the signing of a multi-launch agreement with Institute for Kyushu Pioneers of Space. Is that China? And the new details about the return on investment ocean landing platform detailed for its reusable Neutron rocket. Neutron is currently slated to make its first launch in the second half of 2025. This will be an interesting trade right there. If they actually do end up making their launch successful, I'm thinking a very good long, because people will want exposure to a company that's doing stuff that sounds like a very similar thing. Ocean landing platform for its reusable Neutron rocket. Doesn't that sound very similar to a company that's already doing it and is also the shadow president of the government, shadow president of the United States, I mean? So yeah, very close to that, and I think people will want exposure in this company if they pull this off. So second half of 2025, we might want to put this in our notes and be ready for it. At the moment though, stock reporting earnings, beat EPS, beat guidance, but reporting beat EPS, beat revenue, but guiding lower, and hence moving to the downside off of that catalyst. So RKLB, I guess short pops. I'm not surprised by the support in this area, so I'm not also interested in looking for a breakdown until the stock really gets below $15. So if the stock is, I'm gonna put 15 as my support, not even 17. I'm gonna put 15 to 17 to be the smarter person over here, and that way I don't get trapped into looking for a short in this area. If stock is below 15, I'm for sure shorting it, no doubt. But from $15 to $17, I'm mainly looking to see if I can somehow capture a little bit of a dip by long and get a cool scalp back into VWAP, or maybe even a nice reversal on this name. So RKLB on the docket tomorrow. Beautiful move to the downside. Only short under 15. Once again, I'm repeating it so you guys know. I'm mainly repeating it so I don't break my rules. Okay, ACHR reporting earnings, and ooh, that's exactly kind of what I wanted to see. So perfect. This is the previous not the previous all-time high. What am I saying? Previous levels that I had mapped out. Not as important maybe anymore, but it is below it, and look at that. That level came right back into play. So we got a nice zone. We got a zone potential here in this pocket. So ACHR drone company. Let's see if it can fly high and get back into the old ranges, or if it's going to crash and crumble like most drones do, especially the garbage companies ones, right? The DJIs have good drones. DJIs are not bad. All right, why am I getting into a whole tangent of drones now? God damn it. Let's go ACHR, 1.42 per share loss versus loss of 1.24 estimate. So losing more. Revenue was what? Stayed within the guided range and remained close to flat for the second straight quarter. Company ended with a period of 834 million in cash. Okay, guidance. No guidance. Okay. Abu Dhabi Aviation as its first customer. The program is expected to allow the company to deploy the aircraft dozens of early adopters markets in advance of the certification by the FAA. Company noted that it has received FAA approval for about 13% of total compliance verification documents in the final phase before type certification. Okay, some little good news for the drone sector. FAA is putting in work because Trump obviously putting some pressure on them for the drones to pick off, because China is so far ahead in the drone sector. It is absolutely crazy. You guys need to go take a look at Chinese drone shows that they have. It's absolutely bonkers, mind-blowing. ACHR though, nice little breakdown below 750. I think as long as the stock stays below 750, I'm looking for shorts on pops, and as long as the stock stays above $6, going into $6, I'll look for long around 6. So beautiful range over here to play with. The stock's ATR is about $1, and I don't think we'll see more than $1.50 of a range tomorrow. And guess what, $6 to 750 is exactly $1.50 range. So that's pretty much what I think I'm expecting from the stock tomorrow completely. Hopefully I'm wrong. If it's below 6, I'm very excited for the shorts even more. But if it's only giving me shorts at 750, I'll take it. I'm okay with shorting 750, risking $8 for a nice move into $6. I'm okay with that. CLOV, Clover Health Investments. What did you do? Nothing, burger. All right, we're not gonna bother with this one. Duolingo, DUOL, nice little move to the downside. Duolingo was actually a very fun name to day trade because it moves a lot on okay volume, not a good amount of volume, but it has a good amount of, there you go, ATR, $20 ATR. So it has a good ATR for me to play with. So very interested to see how this one can give us some opportunities. Are you into 200-day moving averages, Duolingo? DUOL? No, you're not. You're so far away from it. Where is Duolingo's PE? Duolingo PE 207. Whew. All right. What is your earnings report looking like, my friend? Let's take a look at it. Nothing there, nothing there. Okay, thank you, Benzinga. Doing a great job at promoting yourself. 28 cents per share, which missed analyst consensus of 50 cents per share by 44%. This is a 7.69% increase over earnings of same period last year of 26 cents, which was, so that's actually, they beat same period last year, but you missed by quite a bit. Okay, company reported quarterly sales of 209 million, which beat the estimates of 205. This is a 38% increase from same period last year of 105. So okay, expects 220 to 223 versus 221 in line. 962 versus 962 to 968 versus 965 in line. Guidance doesn't really excite me. The PE doesn't excite me at all. The fact that we're so far away from the 200-day moving average very much excites me. So heavy look for shorts, right? I'm not sure if this is a great long candidate. They're growing by 38%. You got to keep that in mind, right? They're growing by 38% at the end of the day. So maybe looking heavy short is also not the right idea. But as long as the stock gives you a very clear pattern, maybe, you know, let me just put it in my notes. Grew 38%, but expensive PE. ER was meh. Might just do nothing. Might just do nothing. All right, now let's take a look at the stock on the daily chart. So we got this level right here. Nice little flat bottom, which was also previous all-time high, kind of, that we broke out of, and then we pulled back to the downside. So nice little flat bottom over here. I'm guessing the stock will be already under this area in the after hours. Yes, we're already under it, and as long as we're under it on pops, I might just continue to look for shorts on pops. So depending on how the stock behaves pre-market, if it's not able to get above 370, that's going to be my inflection area. You could just look for short every single pop if it's not getting above 370 tomorrow. DUOL. Keep an eye on it. Keep in mind though, liquidity very low for how expensive it is. Very low liquidity for an expensive name. Open door, really? $1 name? The all-time low? Tell me that's all-time low. All right, you know what? This it's not all-time low. Sucks. All right. This does make you know, give you a very easy trade if you ask me, and that is under over $1. But open door is what do they even do? I'm not wasting my time reading their report now after seeing that this is, I mean, 81 million shares for $1 name. Okay, maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, because you could get a really good tight risk to reward trade. 12-cent ATR. It's like I'm trying to convince myself to put this or keep this on the watch list, but I don't even want to take a look at it. I'm gonna keep it on the watch list, but you know what? I'm not gonna take a look at it. I'm gonna move on to the next stock, and this is where stocks that report earnings tomorrow pre-market come into play. Oh, what a level on Fubo TV. So Fubo TV, $3.50, beautiful support, and right below that you have that gap day low at $3. So $3.50. If the stock doesn't hold that tomorrow on the pre-market earnings report, there's just no more longs until $3. But if $3 doesn't hold, then there's really no more longs tomorrow. So we're gonna be very excited to get short under $3 on Fubo TV, and very excited on any pop-up tomorrow. If it pop-ups tomorrow on an earnings report, keep in mind they just had a big partnership with if I remember correctly, Disney, ESPN, somebody. They had a good partnership with somebody, right? And that's what gave them this big pop. So if that partnership starts to see fruition already, that partnership kind of got announced halfway through the earnings report, obviously. So if that partnership can see fruition already, then the earnings report should, I mean, it should be an episodic pivot, right? So this stock should start gapping up higher, start doing its own thing compared to what the market's doing, and it should really bring in some buyers, especially in a scary market territory right now. It might just bring in buyers, because when it went from $1 to $3, that was an EP pivot, and you're seeing the buyers stepping in and holding the stock, holding it steady as an EP pivot. So if this buyers get cracked, then there's a lot of stops that are getting busted out. So very interested for the short. But if the buyers are correct, and the earnings report reflects that, then we are very interested to see how the stock behaves on a move to the upside. I would love to see how the stock can go into 470 and higher than 470 tomorrow. Sadly, that's all the stocks that I have that report earnings pre-market, at least the ones that I care about. Butterfly, I have traded that one before. B-Fly, but no, I'm not gonna bother with that one. I see people in the chat still talking about, what is it, Bitcoin's still going lower. Let's go take a quick little look at it. Bitcoin did pop back up, but looks like the overnight VWAP right now giving you a little bit of a rejection. I mean, that's a good breakdown right there. If Bitcoin breaks down 82K right there, that could have a good follow through on the short, especially after that wick candle. You see how that wick candle, they try to break out back above the overnight or today's intraday low, because we're now in the overnight session. So they try to take above the intraday low, and they try to break out, but they didn't do it successfully. So now a big selling coming in. They're gonna battle it out a little bit over here, and either a breakdown below 82K is potentially going to take Bitcoin to 80K, or a breakout again of 8250 is potentially going to put the bottom in for the overnight and take us back to the upside, unless there's a big seller over here that I'm really not sure about, because you know, I don't have that in-depth look at the books at the moment for cryptocurrencies. Guess I could go take a look at that using Bitcoin Wisdom. I don't see shit. I don't see shit. Okay, there we go. I guess these are the levels where the coins are. And it looks like we're gonna break down. Alright, so breakdown, this is where you would enter short. Your stop would be up here. So you're basically risking about $1,000 on Bitcoin on this breakdown. And if you're risking $1,000 on this breakdown, it's about $800. If you're risking $1,000 on this breakdown, you better hope that you get $2,000 reward out of it. So this would be, let me just quickly draw in a short tool. Where's that short tool? Short position, there you go. So enter on the breakdown, your stop limits over there, and you want a 2:1 risk to reward. So that would be right here. So you are expecting a nice move into the downside over here on the short side. We'll see if it plays out that way. I'll leave this one up as we go cycle through other stocks for the rest of the night. Going into NVIDIA. Let's talk about NVIDIA real quick. Obviously, big day on NVIDIA. I actually drew in a trend line on NVIDIA. What is this? Anchored VWAP can get deleted now. We don't need that anymore. I drew in this trend line last night, and a nice little breakdown off that trend line. That trend line also lined up with the intraday low right around $125. You can see that that's the trend line, and the $125 kind of lined up the whole day. We bounced off of it. Later on, the market weakness breaking it, taking it to 120, 119. If you take a look at NVIDIA, the 200, 250 day moving average is right in this zone, and you're also going right back into the previous bottoming out action on NVIDIA, which was around 116, 112, 113. So watching how the stock plays out once we head right back into these lows, and people are calling the top across the board on NVIDIA. Stanley Druckenmiller, you got Steve Cohen saying, you know, things like the tariff conversations are not good. People are really worried about all kinds of negative things, such as the AI bubble popping. I'm not a fortune teller. Yes, the stream title is Pradstradamus, but I'm not a fortune teller. All we can do is play with the variables that we're given on the market. So for that, I mean, if NVIDIA is not able to reclaim this $125 tomorrow, it simply doesn't mean there's longs for me anymore. I can't look long above 125 if they're not buying 125, right? So I need to see buyers coming in and fighting for their price, and you know, they're saying I'm okay with paying 125.30, and then somebody else comes in and says I'm okay with buying 125.50, and somebody says, you know what, no, screw you, I want 125.70. That's kind of the action which you want to see if you want to go long above 125, right? So for me, I need to see buying above 125 if I want to go long 125, and that would be on the dips. If I want to go short, I'm not going to be fighting the 200-day moving average, the 250-day moving average in this area. So watching how the dips potentially in this area play out, potentially a good long setting up. That's a big candle on Nvidia. Imagine the market actually washes out below 500 and then gives you a capitulation long. Nvidia potentially will give you one of the best trades tomorrow because of its earnings report and because of the overall market condition. So 100% high priority name tomorrow, potentially keeping an eye on this off the open for some sort of a big flush and a dip buy opportunity for an intraday long, and you're gonna see a lot of people on Twitter looking for this trade exactly tomorrow if it sets up. So watch out for that long. If, let's say, that long doesn't set up tomorrow, then you got a couple other possibilities potentially coming in. You know, an inside day where the stock bounces off of today's low, or an inside day where the stock bounces off of today's high. I'm not thinking we see today's high come back into play, I'll be honest with you. Today's VWAP, where is that? 125, 126, even better. So 126.50 is today's VWAP. If it pops into 126.50 and 125 area is not able to find support after it tests 126.50, it dips into 125 and it's not able to find buyers into 125, boom, that's your short entry right there, and you risk 126.50 and you get a nice free ride back into $120 tomorrow. That's a good short opportunity over there. It all depends also how the market plays out. Is the market really bottoming out by giving us a capitulation, or is the seller not done selling and they're gonna continue offloading? I think somebody said Nvidia actually bounced off the $3 trillion marker today. We'll see if it can do that tomorrow. Can you bounce off the 3 trillion marker tomorrow? Momo's in the house, ignoring my comments still. I'm not ignoring your comments. I just see the comments I see, and the ones I don't, they just scroll past. So let me see, where am I? Crypto dumping, I think I talked about that. One word, gold. Okay, we'll take a look at that one. I've been trimming my MSTR holdings as they've been bleeding. Yes, that is the right thing to do. Canada propaganda, US drone superior. What the hell are you talking about? TraderPrad, if Nvidia is hitting 125, how's AMD doing? Probably getting smoked. Probably getting smoked. What other comments? I don't even see any other comments from you, Momo. Oh, there it is. Did you see my idea how you can short if you sell short? I don't trade options, so I usually ignore it when you say anything about options in the Discord. But I do see that you're making profits on it, so that makes me happy. But I ignore almost all option comments because I just don't trade options, so it doesn't. I try not to waste my time with it. I got more things to worry about. So I just ignore most of those comments when people talk about options. Okay, C3 AI, day one. Yes, day one. Nothing burger, if you ask me. If it continues to stay below 25, I think there's a short. If the market stays weak, you can continue to look short on pops. But do I really care about C3 AI tomorrow? Not really. Snowflake. Yeah, it looked like it was getting ready to go to 194, was it not? But yeah, obviously market didn't help it out at all. Market did not give it the juice it wanted. Good report, just did not have the right day for it to report, I guess. CRM, kind of in the same basket, right? It tried to save itself, but just not a good day to report. So they did not have the juice. So if these are the stocks that you might want to keep an eye on tomorrow, if the market actually has a relief rally, the ones that reported well might have a really good rebound tomorrow. So Snowflake, CRM, keep an eye on these ones. IonQ, if you look at IonQ on the daily chart, that looks like a breakdown of a good support area. But it could also be a failed breakdown of that support area. So watching tomorrow's action is very important. If the stock is easily above 24, 25, was it actually not 24, right? Let me just zoom out. 24. So if the stock is able to stay above 24, there's no shorts. But if it is under 24 tomorrow, I love the shorts on this name. So under, over 24. Now I just have some basic names: Palantir, SMCI, some of the names that have been on everybody's watch list for quite some time now. Under, over 85 on Palantir. If Palantir can find a footing under 85 and stays weak under 85, it's a no-brainer short. But if Palantir stays strong above 85, it's a no-brainer long to me. It goes easily back into $90 or even a little bit higher than $90. Its ATR is actually 750, so you could get a little bit of a higher spike than a $5 move from 85 holding. But once again, 85 not holding is doomsday for Palantir in my opinion. 42, 43, 40 even dollar. SMCI getting smoked. Not the right time to potentially buy SMCI. Not the right time to buy anything at the moment, right? Market is just selling off everything. Volume dying down on SMTI too, but it's still trading 100 million shares. So you really don't have a complaint as to SMCI is not doing enough volume. It's a $40 stock trading 100 million shares. It's doing a ton of volume, so you can scalp it, you can get in and out. There'll be tons of setups throughout the day, so keep an eye on it. I just don't like the setups for the most part on this name, other than the simple breakdown below 43, I guess you could say. But then right below that you have a $40 area, so it's just kind of like, how am I gonna really trade this, right? How am I really gonna plan this out? So it's just a meh trade for me. It's a whatever trade for me on SMCI. HIMS, not sure I want to keep this one on the watch list. Tesla is getting ready for that beautiful dip by mean reversion long setup. So 200-day moving average coming right in. It's around 278, and Tesla is not that far away from it. That gap up low is around 275. The previous all-time high at right after the gap, the breakout, was around 270. So you get the idea of the pocket of range that I might be interested in on Tesla as we push into this low. So watching Tesla as a high priority mean reversion trade. You can see how many days it's been down consistently: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a nice little capitulation bottom tomorrow into 270 would be the ideal dream situation long. And I would even maybe put an A+ risk on this tomorrow if stock sets up with a clean bottom long into 270, hopefully some sort of capitulation or failed low breakdown, put some real risk and grow a pair. All right, so that's me talking to myself in my notes for anyone wondering. I'm very interested on smacking this long on Tesla tomorrow. AAPL making its descent back down, joining the other big tech stocks. It was a little monstrous a little bit, but now joining the other big tech stocks as the whole market gets sold back. But in terms of priority in big tech. I think Tesla and Nvidia bite the cake. Then you have Amazon, Meta that are a little bit more important to me. Then you have Microsoft and Google and Apple that are all in the same basket. So Microsoft, Google, and Apple, I'm not really too fond of trading. They're just kind of murky trades. They're way too choppy. They're owned by institutions. They're gamed. They like stop punt all the time on Google from my experience. So I'm just not that interested to really day trade these ones unless there's a very clean pattern. But Tesla, Nvidia, they're just much easier and they just trade much more volume. Meta is not as easy as Nvidia and Tesla, but if you wait in the right zones on Meta because of the ATR, you might end up getting a really big winner, but you have to also give it the respect that it deserves. You might have to risk $5 a share, and if you have to do that, that means you might have to, you know, take less size than you're usually used to. So you got to consider all those other factors over there on Meta. Microsoft is just Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft. Okay, so cryptocurrencies, we finally got to the cryptocurrency basket. Obviously Bitcoin was breaking down. Let's go check out how Bitcoin is doing now, back above 82k. So looks like we're actually getting stopped out on the short. Failed breakdown of the range low, getting stopped out on the short on Bitcoin. Let's go, getting stopped out, and we are actually bottoming out. So that looks like you know, the overnight session has bottomed out. I would like to see the breakout above, let's say 83, right? If I can see the breakout back above 83, I'll say the overnight market has bottomed out. You got a little bit of a capitulatory bottom right there. You can see how that is more volume than the intraday session, or just, yes, more volume than the whole intraday session. So this is the whole day today, and that is the most volume traded on Bitcoin, bottoming out into that action, and potentially no more downside today playing out for BTC. So if that's the case, maybe no downside on MSTR and Coinbase that I want to see tomorrow, but that's also dependent very much on the market, how the market behaves, how Bitcoin behaves tomorrow. So keep an eye on these. These are the perfect names to keep an eye on for some exposure to trade Bitcoin. You can also trade IBIT. If Bitcoin does get weak tomorrow, IBIT under 46.50, 46.69, you don't want to miss that. If Bitcoin is breaking down below 80k, IBIT below 46.69 is a must watch. If IBIT, sorry, if Bitcoin doesn't get below 80k, then potentially a good long on IBIT is setting up. But I think you can just go do that on MSTR and Coinbase too, and you'll get very lucky doing that also. Last but not least, VST reported earnings, I think yesterday, and actually getting ready to most likely break down over here below that 130 area. So looking like a possible breakdown short. If it stays weak below 130, I think you're basically shorting every pop on this name. But I got a lot of names on the board tomorrow with the way the market is, with the way the overall QQQs and the S&P 500's moving. I don't think I'm going to be focusing that much on the random names, right? You have the SoundHound and the Dell and the Duolingo and all that we went through, but those are not going to be my high focus. It's going to be the Nvidias, the Teslas, and the QQQs. That is the high priority when the market is giving you such high volatility. You know, the VIX is at what, 20 now? Probably higher than 2021, right? So VIX 21, what's 9 plus 10? 21. So VIX is now at 21. So volatility getting higher. This is exactly what you want to see if you're a day trader, right? Some volatility, some fun, some activity in the market as consolidation ranges are now potentially being tested on the low end, and some money to be made. Let's go. So keep an eye out on that bad boy. Last but not least is the econ calendar. Yes, for PCE 830. Good 2-star Chicago PMI 945, 1030 Atlanta GDP. So you got some numbers. You got core PC 830, you got Chicago PMI at 945. So 830, 945, 1030. Just on Friday, this is usually the schedule. So no Fed speaker. 8:30 to 10:30, you got like a 2-hour window as an alarm as to what the market could do as the numbers come out. So make sure you're alert. Maybe don't be heavily positioned before these numbers, because that could easily wipe you out if you're doing that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is tonight's stream. Hopefully you found some trades. Make sure to follow me on all the fun social media if you are interested in some discounts off of some software that I use every single day. Trade Ideas, Flash Research, Trader Sync, Benzinga Pro. Go check out my link in the description below, Linktree, and get some discount. Momo's asking if Nvidia is at 25, how's AMD? I answered that already. AMD is a buy at 95. All right, let's go take a look at AMD quick, and then I'll call it a night. Oof, wow. Is AMD a buy at 95? I don't know. I love AMD, you know that, but I just don't know. I'm not a financial advisor, thankfully, so I don't have to answer these questions. Yeah, so you know, I just don't know how to evaluate AMD. You know, there was a time in my life where I did call AMD. I think AMD was at $12 when I said watch AMD, or I think it was at $20. Yes, it was at $30 at 2018, December 2018. Was it 2018? No, 2019. December 2019. So $28. I said AMD is going to overpower Intel in terms of stock price. And people questioned me. And I was right. AMD did manage to overpower Intel in stock price very, very much. But right now, the company is not the stock price, and the stock price is not the company. You got to remember that. But investors are clearly not liking what AMD, the company, does. They're just not liking it. They much rather put their money in Nvidia, and they did for a long time. So AMD is just on a big down move until the trends really reverse. Not sure you want to consider looking heavily long. Like, the trends are, these trends are sharp to the downside. That's like a beautiful breakdown, retest off that breakdown, failed, and then you can take that breakdown and risk that high, retest off that whole area to add more size, another breakdown to add size. You would be short 130 and a nice move to 94. Hindsight trader. But no, I just put the lines in for you, and I'm kind of showing you. Anyways, time to call it a night, chat. It's 9:13. It's time for me to go do some homework off stream, and I have to get ready for the final day of February. It's going to be a spicy one. So I gotta go get ready for that. Do my journals, do my write-ups, do my tape review, do my peer review with my friends, argue with my buddies about a bunch of topics. So I got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna bounce. I wish you guys the best for tomorrow. Catch you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Peace. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code Pradstradamus.
replays. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.